Good day, YouTube. This is Jay Money with Fallen Ford Financial. Just an update here on Ford. I've talked about them a couple times here on the channel. This is Ford Motor Company. Ticker is just F. Can't get any simpler than that. Here's a look at over the last year. They're up over 53%. I'd never thought I'd see that with Ford. I have a cost basis here of $865. I have some more in a retirement with a cost basis of about $5 and change, but there would have been the time to exit out of this one. Up over 113%, so it has came down, but it looks like it's going back up today. The last 3 months it's down over 8%. In the last month, down over 24%, and that's in regards to this hitting this high point and then coming back down. In the last week, here's a look at what they've done with the drop off there. So would have been a decent buying opportunity there to pick up some more. And here's a look at today. So missed that dip and just thought of Ford, and would have been a great option to do there. Could have made some quick money there on about a 20 to 30 cent increase. And they did bring their dividend back, which is very nice. It used to be at 15 cents. Now it's at 10 cents per share, but I'll take 10 as opposed to nothing. They did shut it off for quite a while. If you don't know much about Ford, you can pause and take a look there. Been around since 1903, volume of 20.25 million and an average volume of 126.99 million, $72.34 billion market cap. Which is big, but when you think of Tesla, you just think of Tesla. Tesla could just buy them out with pocket change. That's how big Tesla is. And a 52-week low of 1113 and a high of 2587. So even if you would have got in at this price and got out, you'd been doing really well. So here's a look at their analyst ratings, 50% on the buy, which is almost just a little bit increase over a hold, but they're making some electric cars, so I hold those for the long term, so we'll just have to see where Ford goes again this year. So here's a look at their last earnings. Missed that one by quite a bit. All the other ones, they were spot on and then some, especially here, but this one, for whatever reason, missed on that one. So there's my dividend, and it looks like it did do a call on this one. So, and I've talked about GM as well, and looks like they're going back up. They were below $50 there for a while, so, but both of these have ran up really nice in the last year. Over here on MSN or Microsoft Bing, currently showing it as a hold with a 1-year price target of 21.18. Mesosalma Advisors LLC buys Scalar Incorporated, Ford Company, PIMCO, Enhanced Short Maturity Active. And this is dated on the 31st, so a week ago. But for those of you that are totally into Ford, this is just kind of going over an ETF, what they have changed positions. Here's the new purchases. This is what we're talking about. So I think this one's Chevron, and I'm not sure of some of these other tickers. Looks like they added some positions in Apple. I've talked about Apple. I've talked about Amazon here on the channel. I have the Qs, PayPal, Verizon, Starbucks, Pfizer. This is an ARK fund, Duke Energy, not sure what that is, Coca-Cola, VOO, another ETF, and they reduced the following here. So Zoom, PaySafe, Cisco, I believe that one is, Johnson & Johnson, Ride, Pepsi, Hyliion, Altria, AT&T I've talked about numerous times, and there's the ones they totally sold out of. Google to work with Ford on Detroit Research Hub. I just talked about Google. If you don't know about Google, I believe in July, I can't remember the exact date, the 18th or the 25th, they're going to be doing a 20-to-1 split. So if you have one share of Google, you'll end up with 20 after the split, which could be anywhere from $130 to $150. Google to work with Ford on Detroit Research Hub, and that was dated on the 4th. So Ford announced Friday that Google is joining the automaker's effort to transform a once dilapidated Detroit train station into a research hub focused on electric and self-driving vehicles. Looks like a pretty decent sized place, but it looks like it is run down. So, also Detroit, the state of Michigan, have agreed to provide infrastructure and other support for the Michigan Central Innovation District that will include the defunct train depot and other nearby buildings in the historic Corktown neighborhood just outside of downtown, officials said. Together, this is another sign we are moving forward in a way that shows Michigan it is in the win. So if you're in Michigan, you can leave that in the comments as well. Or Detroit, or if you like Kiss and like Detroit Rock City, you can leave that in the comments as well. One of my favorite groups. Ford announced plans for the Michigan Central Innovation District in 2018, shortly after it bought the 18-story, 500,000 square foot. So it is a big place. Train depot renovations at the more than century-old Michigan Central Station could be completed by next year. So very interesting for Ford going forward. Ford Motor Company Q4 earnings summary. This is dated on the 3rd. Earnings $12.28 billion in Q4 versus minus $2.79 billion in the same period last year. EPS $3.03 in Q4 versus minus 70 cents in the same period last year. Excluding items, Ford Motor Company reported adjusted earnings of $1.06 billion or 26 per share per period. Revenue of $37.7 billion versus Q4 versus $36 billion in the same period last year. Ford slips for third session following earnings supply chain woes. And this is dated on the 7th. So here today, shares ticked lower, down almost 1%, falling for a third day in a row after reporting disappointing Q4 EPS and profit guidance last week, as the impact of the supply chain shortages appears to be worse than forecast for the near term. Shares of Ford almost fell 10% on Friday and are down 14% this year through Friday after climbing 136% last year. Ford is temporarily halting and scaling back auto production at 8 plants in North America due to the shortage in semiconductor chips, according to Reuters' report on Friday. So as we all know, or maybe you don't know, there was a shortage on chips. I believe Apple is making their own, and I think I heard talk of Tesla making their own if they're not already. So we'll see who else follows suit and that. So the auto giant is making the moves in the United States, Mexico, and Canada. The changes will be in place starting this week. Ford reported last week that automotive revenue was $35.3 billion versus $35.5 billion, so a little bit of a difference there. Consensus in Q4. Net income of $12.3 billion was recorded, and adjusted EBITDA of $2 billion. Adjusted EBIT margin was 5.4 versus 4.8 a year ago. The North America EBIT was $1.8 billion, and EBIT margin was 7.1% for the quarter. Barron's over the weekend also highlighted a note from Morgan Stanley analyst last week predicted that Tesla revenue will be higher than the combined revenue of Ford and GM by 2027. So, and it looks like Tesla is up a little bit today, but I like to diversify. I've always had Ford and GM. Both of those have done really well in the last year. And I think last year sometime I finally got into Tesla, so I drug my feet on that one for quite some time. But if you have Robinhood or Charles Schwab, I know they call it slices or M1 Finance. You can find all those links in my description and get in on those and get some free stock, and that also helps out the channel. But if you don't have $900+ you can do slices in Tesla, so very cool. SFE Investment Council buys Invesco Bullet Shares 2025 High Yield Corporate Bond Ford Motor Company. So Based Investment Company buys Invesco Bullet Shares 2025 High Yield Corporate Bond Ford Motor Company International Business Machines, or IBM Johnson Johnson Electric. General Electric sells Invesco Bullet. So again, kind of going over some trades in the ETF. New purchases of Ford, so that is a very good thing to always see new purchases of Ford. And here's some of the added positions. So it looks like quite a few. Verizon, I've talked about them. Square, so quite a variety here. IBM, Johnson & Johnson. Boeing, Amazon. I just did a video on Amazon as well. And here's some of the ones that they reduced. Pfizer is one of my holdings and sold out of Baba. I sold out of Alibaba quite a while back as well. Over here on Reddit, Kid Rock says, Dr. Fauci chants, "Let's go Brandon," calls the Unity a new song. That is a good song, so if you haven't heard that, go ahead and look that up. That is a kind of an interesting tune from Kid Rock. Ramp strike in the U.S. Navy aircraft carrier. So not much news in there. Over here on StockTwits, currently at $18.03, low of $11.13, high of $25.87. And there's a person selling, I'm not sure what that is, Viper Energy. Have not heard of that, and bought some Uber and some Ford. So I think Ford, GM, I think all the EVs are going to have a good year, so I sold this one up, just bought into, AT&T is down, so that would be a good time to look at some calls. They've been riding the $25 range. I've also talked about Lucid here on the channel. I don't think that's the automotive, that's something else. And Tesla currently at $9.28, so it's went up. Ford $18 call, expired 2/11, is too cheap. That might be something to consider. It's already above 18, so if it dips below, you can buy it again. So currently on MSN Money, Ford is a hold, and here on Tip Ranks, it's showing a moderate buy with a 30% upside to $23.56, high of $32, low of $12. And if you have Ford, go ahead and list that in the comments along with your cost basis, any other information you'd like to provide in regards to Ford. And if you haven't smashed that like button yet, go ahead and hit that for me, as well as subscribing. And I just wanted to take a look at the what a call would be here on this one, currently at $18.07. So this one would cost you $25. Obviously this one's went up since it's above 18 now, but would have been interesting to see what that price was before it went up to 18. But if you think it'll go up to $18.50, you can try that one. So it was $18.19.50, so if that would run back up, that would be a pretty good payout on that option, but it might need some more time to run. So, but if you have Ford, like I said, go ahead and list that in the comments, and if you haven't smashed the like button yet, go ahead and hit that for me, as well as subscribing, and hit the bell so you're notified of when the next videos drop. Again, this is J Money, following Ford Financial. Happy trading, happy investing, stay green. Cheers.